Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm in my greenhouse today. This is the first time this year actually I've got to spend some time inside the greenhouse. Last week it was actually frozen shut and I couldn't actually open the door where it was so cold. But the temperatures have warmed a little bit and it's really nice outside. I've still got my nice warm cup of tea that I'm enjoying, but it's nice to be outside, it's nice to be in the fresh air, it's nice to be able to see a little bit of blue sky, and it really feels like we're in winter and it's just nice to be outside with a few little jobs to do. I've got a few little things I want ticked off my list, but it's nice and leisurely today. It is a nice day of those little jobs that are quite nice to do. So the first nice little job I've got today is to plant some daffodils that I've got here. These are dwarf ones and I'm going to be putting these in some pots, and I've also got 16 mixed tulips that I'm going to do as well. So I would say you can still definitely plant bulbs at this time of year. I have had success before in the past where I planted in January. It's a really good time to pick up bulbs at a low price, so I think if you see some in the shop that are discounted, just go for it. They'll make a really nice spring display. So I've just got some multi-purpose compost here that I'm going to put in the bottom of this terracotta pot that I've got. So I've got soil at the bottom here. I'm just going to take each bulb. The side that's shooting up is the side that is facing the top of the soil, and the roots at the bottom is the side that's going to go down. You need to plant the bulbs about 10 centimetres underneath the soil surface, or about 3 times the height of the bulb that you're actually planting. As long as it's quite deep, you should be okay. So I'm just going to get as many as I can in this pot, and hopefully I will have a really nice display in the spring. I'm then just going to cover those bulbs with the compost. Now the tulips will be absolutely fine in here and they will keep on growing, but we have a lot of animals around here that like digging, and they like digging up our bulbs, especially tulips. Now squirrels are the main culprit here. So I've just got a piece of chicken wire that I'm going to just fold on top of itself to make it sort of the right size, and I'm just going to put that over this just until they start coming up through the soil. That should just stop anything from digging that up. So I have just actually tied some string just through that chicken wire, just looped it through, and I'm just gonna tighten it just to keep the chicken wire on top of the pot. It only needs to stay on here until they start shooting out the top, but it just means it's less likely for anything to dig up the tulip bulbs. The lengths we go to, isn't it? Now for the daffodils, I've actually got some really cute little pots. They're actually really cracked, but I like that look. I'm going to put the daffodils really heavily in these and make a bit of a display out of them. So a little bit at the bottom. How many daffodils can I get in here? just going to fill these with the compost. So I've now got 3 of these pots. I'm thinking these will look so nice on our outdoor table in the spring with these amazing display of daffodils in them. So I think, is it too late to plant daffodil bulbs and tulip bulbs now? No, I don't think so. That is actually my question of the day today. When is the latest time you have planted bulbs? I've got a few tulip and daffodil bulbs left from each pack, and I've got one quite large terracotta pot left, so I think I'm going to just mix them up and put them all in the same one. I am so pleased that that job is done. That will be so nice in the spring when I've got some daffodils and some tulips coming up in pots. I can move them around, I can make nice little displays. I'm really looking forward to it. And after they've done with their displays, I always plant mine in the garden, so they just live on in the garden for years to come. So I was sat yesterday reading Grow Your Own magazine on my Readly app, and there was a whole spread on chili peppers. One of the chili peppers mentioned in the article was the Hungarian hot wax, which I have grown previously, and I've actually got overwintering in my house for this year. But it just got me thinking, I really want to grow some different chilies than I have last year. So I've got a pile of seeds that I'm going to be starting today. But that is all thanks to the Readly app, where I can read all of my favourite magazines all in one place and get so much inspiration for what I really love doing, which is gardening, but also lots of other things that I'm interested in. Readly is actually a multi-profile account as well, so my son likes reading his magazines on there as well. There's lots of science magazines that he's really interested in, and there's lots of other things that I like reading on it. And actually Readly have personalised recommendations as well, which means you get shown lots of different magazines that maybe you wouldn't find otherwise. It's super easy to navigate. You can bookmark your pages, which is what I really like, because when I see ideas, especially for in the garden, I like to save them and then go back to them at a later date. So I really like that feature of it. I love nothing more than sitting down with a nice cup of tea or a nice hot chocolate and just getting lots of inspiration from all of my favourite magazines all in one app. So easy to navigate, and like I say, you can bookmark any pages, which is a real plus for me because I like to go back to things. Readly are kindly giving my viewers a 2-month free trial to try their app themselves. All the details are in the description of this video and also pinned into the comments. So now I've got lots of inspiration from Grow Your Own magazine and Readly. I am going to sow 8 new varieties of chilies for this year. So I'm going to be using these seed trays, which I've used for the last couple of years. As you can see, I used these last year for my tomatoes. Have to be taking these off, but they're quite good. They sit in the tray there, so you can water them, and then they've got a little top to them as well, which you can regulate the humidity and the airflow in them. They're also quite small, so I can put them on top of my radiator, and they germinate really easily. So first things first, I need to get these stickers off so that I don't get confused with what I've got in each one. I've got 8 different varieties of pepper and chilies to sow today. Mainly chilies, but there are a few peppers in there. So I'm going to do 3 seeds of each, and that will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different varieties, 3 of each, and let's hope I get some good germination. So I'm going to be using multi-purpose compost because that is what I've got. I'm going to fill these seed trays with the compost. just going to use this metal stake here just to dib a small hole in each of the cells, and that's where I will be putting my seed for each variety into that hole. So I'll go through the varieties as I sow them. So the first variety I've got is Tabasco. And what I've done for each one, I've just printed out a label that I will just put at the side like I did before for my tomatoes last year that I've just taken off. So I did try and grow Tabasco last year, but none of them germinated. So let's try this year and hopefully I have some success. So I need 3 seeds. So I've got 1. And like I say, I will just put a label on each end so I know what is in each row. So that's Tabasco done. I have now got cayenne pepper or Cayenne pepper. I don't know how you say it. Cayenne, Cayenne. I've got this one and I think it's pretty hot. My next type is actually a pepper, and that is a sweet Astor. Again, I tried to grow this last year. It did germinate, it did grow a plant, but it was really, really small. I'm trying to overwinter one that survived, but it'd be quite good if I have some more success with that one, because it'd be quite interesting to see what that one's like. Okay, the Padron pepper. I did do these last year. I've got 2, I think, that are overwintering, and they did really, really well. So I definitely want to start some more of these off this year. So I've got sort of a running crop of them. This compost is relatively wet, but I will bottom water that as soon as I get inside, and I'm going to show you exactly where I put these to germinate as well. Okay, next tray. I've got California Wonder sweet pepper. I tried these last year and they didn't germinate, so I'm going to try again. If at first we don't succeed, we try again, don't we? And as gardeners, I think that must be one of our main mottos. We just keep going. Even if we get it wrong time and time again, nothing ever stops us. We try something different and we try again, don't we? Basket of Fire. I love these plants. These are the 2 that I left in the greenhouse and I rescued when there was a frost, and they're doing amazing on my kitchen windowsill. I'm keeping them going. When we go inside and I show you where I put these, I'll show you the plants. They're looking fantastic. They've actually got chilies on them. I've got another pepper here, and this is one called Sweet Salad. So definitely up for trying that one. These are the sorts of ones that I eat every single day nearly with my dinner. So I'll be very pleased if I get to grow some of these. Last but not least, Sweet Ingrid. This is a sweet pepper again. This was one, again, I tried to do last year and it didn't germinate. So hopefully I get some more luck today. It's just getting so dark out, isn't it? Sorry if the picture's not great. I can't see how bad it is from the screen, but it's getting very dark already. And it's only sort of like late morning. So it just shows you, doesn't it? Like in the winter, light levels are so poor. I've actually only got 1 little seed in there. 1 tiny little seed, so let's pop that in and see if we have any luck with that one. One seed is all it takes. So my last one only has one seed in there, but let's see if we can get something from that. So again, I'm just going to cover over those holes. They're going to go in there, and then that's going to go on top. I'm going to take these inside now and show you where I put them. Before we go in, I just want to show you a few things that are looking really nice in my garden. So I've got this rose here, which is starting to put on some buds, which is absolutely fantastic. This is like a spray rose, and it sort of goes up my garage next to my grapevine. But there's just little buds everywhere, which I think is just fantastic. My hellebores are looking really, really, really healthy. And I've also got some tulips starting to come up here. It's like those signs of spring that we look forward to, isn't it? Got lots of seeds come up in this big bed here, but I'm not sure what they are. So I'm going to leave them and see what they are before I pull them, because they might be something I want. I've got this bay tree, which is looking fantastic as well. When I moved here, this was in a pot. The lady that lived here before had just left it, and I planted it in the ground. It was tiny, and it's just looking so nice and lush. It's absolutely stunning. It just keeps evergreen all year, bay trees do, but it's just something in the garden that I think always looks nice, and this time of year it looks especially nice. We're still working on the vegetable garden that is going to be right next to the greenhouse here. These beds have just got strawberries in at the moment, but I'm really starting to plan this area now, and as soon as time allows, we'll be putting the path in this side and making it look nice and inviting. But it's exciting to be outside in the garden. It's been so frosty recently and so cold that it's been quite slippy out here, so it was quite hard to walk down to the greenhouse. It's just nice to be out in the fresh air today. So I'm now back in the house, and I'm going to show you exactly where I put these seed trays to germinate. So I've got this radiator here, and I just put them on top. And that's where they go, and that's where they will stay until they germinate. I did this last year. I think I might have even done it the year before, but it works well. They are so small, these seed trays, that they do just fit on the top of our radiator. It is a double one, so that probably helps a little bit, but it gives quite a bit of heat, and they germinate. And once they've germinated, I just move them to the windowsill, because by then it is starting to warm up and we're getting a bit more light. So hopefully, now I've said this on a video, I haven't given myself any bad luck, and hopefully this still works for me. And I just want to show you the chilli plant. This is the basket of fire. So there was two of these. They were on the kitchen windowsill, but it's quite hard to see in there. It's quite dark at the back of the house. So I've just moved them here just so that I can show you exactly what it looks like. I rescued this from the greenhouse about a month ago. It had had a really hard frost and it was looking pretty bad. It's come through with loads of new leaves, and it's actually starting to put some chilies on as well. Can you believe it? So it just shows you that they are pretty hardy and they can survive quite a bit. I wouldn't recommend it, but if it does happen, then there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I feel like I've had a really productive day today. A few little jobs, but that just makes you feel so good just ticking those off the list. Thank you so much for watching me today, and I will see you again soon.